Hello everybody, how are you doing? My name's Derek and I'm not at Goathead Farm. I was about to try and fix a very annoying problem with the 944 before I start working on the Buick. The problem I'm having is that every time, well, it's not actually even every time, but something's happening with the window. They call it the window winder circuit. I need to replace this little light bulb. It actually looks fine. So there's actually quite a few problems with the electrical, I don't want to say the electrical systems, but electronic devices on this car. I have lost the ability to open the sunroof, and evidently there's some micro switches. I found the micro switches in here and I've tried to adjust them. I need to figure that out so that I can open the sunroof. This actually, I think, comes all the way off. I know it comes all the way off, and I can put it in the trunk, and I would love to do that. But right now I'm trying to focus on the most annoying problem, and that is that when I get in the car, I cannot roll the window down. So I replaced the fuse for the window winder, which is right here. It's blown again. Every time I drive the car, I go through two fuses. I go through a fuse to roll the windows down, and I go through a fuse to roll them back up when I get to where I'm going. So I was reading a forum for 944s. This is a 1986, and someone suggested that potentially it's inside of this switch. It could either be one of these two switches or it could be the switch on the opposite side. I'm going to take the door panel off. I want to see if I can find where the short is and fix it. So this car has been well taken care of. Oh. Well, you could probably order these little switches. It's blowing a 40 amp fuse. That's what I've been putting in there. So I did the smart thing and tried to just put a bigger fuse in, you know. And everything seems okay. I got lazy and I broke all these little guys instead of using my tool, which I had, but so I ripped those out of the door panels. I'm going to try to fix those. I don't really need to take the door panel off to get to these switches, and I just looked online. I can order 3 of them, 2 for this side, 1 for the other side, for 25 bucks. But I want to take the door panel off and look at the wiring to the window regulator to see if there's a problem down there. So I'm behind the armrest. This is bolted on, and then this guy slides down inside of here. I kind of hate to get into here, but so I broke all these little guys. But I do try to make things worse. So that's the door lock, I guess. Which you can only do with a key. It's pretty complicated. Everything is kind of complicated. Oh, it's the glass. Well, it does look like it has been messed with before. I think that's the window regulator. I don't really see where the wires go down to it. I'm just looking for a wire that's shorting out. You know what I really like? Manual windows. If I had a time machine, I would go back and find the guy that invented electric windows, and I would sway him to do something else with his life. So I've tried both switches and tried putting them in different locations, and up and down several times with both switches in both locations, and cannot get the fuse to blow. But while I was doing that, I saw a pretty big spark come out of down here, which I'm not seeing anymore. I don't know how I'm ever going to get into here to fix these wires. I can actually see there's some insulation chewed off of this wire. So that might be where it arced. I just do not know what to think at this point. This wire somewhere in there. It could be on the other switch on the other door because the circuit does go through there. So I don't know. Huh. This boot was on when I got started, and I pulled the boot out and I got it to arc against the frame. Oh, there it did it again. Did you hear it? I don't know if that's a good way to troubleshoot, but I might have blown the fuse. Let's go look at the fuse. Yeah, I think it's blown. It's kind of neat little fuse tester, so good fuse will light up. So it's down inside. I probably need to pull this off. So that'll be my next step, is to pull this panel off. There's some wiring that's hitting metal in there, and that's what's causing my problem. And it would make sense, but because it's probably every time I open and close the door. So boy, I just don't know how to solve this problem. I'm gonna try to go over here and see what I can find. I'll disconnect this. It's a weird switch. And then I've got the hood latch. See, and as I work on stuff just falls apart. Like I just kind of broke that. Oh, every time I do something in this car, it's just old, and see, it breaks. Stuff just breaks when you mess with it. I bet these are easy to find. Oh, it's broken. I don't know if I broke it, if it was broken already. Huh, that's a bummer. They're notoriously broken. So this actually slides onto the carpet like that, but it's covering up the holes to unscrew it. As do most of my projects, this is starting to go the wrong direction. I went ahead and took this off, and it's like completely broken. And I don't think I broke it. So I guess I'm gonna have to order a new one of these. And then this plastic piece that covered the insulation has just completely fallen apart. So once again, I'm making negative progress. Oh, it's still working though. Didn't blow the fuse. Boy, this is gonna be tough to fix. So this is like day 3 of me trying to hunt down this short. It's just really difficult because of the way it's got these wiring harness routed. It goes down through this kind of bulge in the door, and I don't know if the short is... I pulled the carpet up, and they've got these kind of metal cable ties, if you want to call them that. So I've got myself some slack, and I'm pulling it out through, and now I've got slack here, and I'm just trying to see if I can find an exposed wire. There was one exposed wire that I put electrical tape on in here, but it still is shorting out somewhere. So I'm trying to just find... The less I can pull all this stuff apart, the better chance I have of preserving it somewhat. I just cannot, for the life of me, find the actual bare wire that's shorting against the body. Every time I open the door and close the door, it shorts, basically, or that's what was happening. So I think I'm better now, but I want to make it 100%. So I got those wires to come through. Actually a fuse in here. It looks like a fuse, I guess for the door lock. I don't know, man, that would... I'll tell you what, this car is not the easiest to work on, at least for me. So I ended up buying this cloth wire harness tape. I'm gonna try to wrap everything in that. And then I think I'll kind of put it all back together without putting the door panel on and see if I can drive it for a while without having it short out. And then I will put it all back together eventually. Like a surgeon. Where'd you put my scissors? Being left-handed, you never know if scissors are going to work for you or not. There we go. I think I might call that good. So I got that new insulation on that wiring harness, and I've been driving the thing for actually quite a while, and I have not seen that fuse blow. So I think I got it figured out, and it was just the wires down in here, which is pretty typical, I think, for any car. So that's probably where I should have gone first, but without pulling the door panel off, I wouldn't have been able to get the wire back into here and do the work on it because of the way that the harness is configured. So it was worthwhile pulling the panel off, and I also got to kind of destroy the panel, and so now I get to fix that. So that's an extra added bonus. Ended up buying a new little piece for the hood latch pull because it was broken, and I thought it was a two-piece thing, but I guess I still need to use this upper piece. Interesting. That's the tape I ended up using for the wiring harness. Might consider getting a little bit wider next time, but the 1/2 inch worked good, but maybe the 3/4 inch would have been better. Seems like it's doing the job. I don't know if these were from the factory or if someone kind of redid it later in life, but I want to try to put it back the way it was. So I'm going to pull these staples out, and I'm going to attempt to use Molly's very nice little staple gun. It has some kind of short staples in it. Hopefully we can get all this vinyl back on here. And then I also want to try to get these back in because I kind of pulled them out a little bit. And then I guess the bottom just had screws in it. 4, 5, 6 screws. But these are all kind of weak, especially these two lower ones. Ah, that worked pretty good. That looks pretty good. Thank you, Molly. Beautiful. I'm happy with the way that turned out. Not sure about these guys, but lost this little clip here. Gotta figure that out. Using the old beer can again. To try and make something for this screw to go into to hold this switch housing down. It's probably as good as it's going to get. I probably should have used a German beer to do that. I don't like the way that sits on there, but let's see if we can put this baby on. Wow, that sat on there pretty nice, didn't it? Wow, it went in. I can't believe it. Wow, they both went in. That's insane. Just a little piece here that you have to put in this corner. So that little corner piece holds that edge. Okay. Like brand new. Getting there. Just need to find some screws for here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can put that bottom thing on. And then I got to deal with this. And that should do it for the door panel. Then I got to deal with this stuff down here. I guess. As good as it's going to get with me working on it. Man, my Porsche. High quality. Beautiful. Kind of need this thing too, because this tab's broken off. People hand you some fun stuff when you buy a car. Did I break it, or was it that way? I feel like it was that way. So I'm going to try to order one of these, but for now I think... Oof. Boy, I don't want my hood to not open. I think I'll still be able to get my hood open. I think it's just a cover, really. Carpet in there. Maybe we should just put it on. In there. And this goes. That scared me. That's looking like, kind of looking like someone that's not really an interior guy has been messing around with this car a little bit. I'll try to tuck this back in the best I can. Well, that's about it. Again, that's the best I can do. That seems okay. I'm going to try to get a piece, this piece, that's not broken, but it seems like it's going to work okay. So, not a high priority. Car's definitely been used, but not totally abused. It wouldn't look this good if I'd been driving it for 190,000 miles. That's probably for sure. But maybe I take good care of my cars. I respect my cars, I should say. Okay, well, not a super exciting video, but had to be done. And this car is going to be a lot more fun to drive since I can roll the windows up and down and not have the fear of blowing a fuse. So next thing I'd really like to fix on here are the micro switches for the sunroof, or whatever you call this, moonroof, Porsche roof. Maybe after that, the windshield wiper fluid motor. I think the wipers go, but the motor does not. So, and then the stereo, because now the stereo is eating my CDs. Yes, I do have CDs and I do play them in. I used to play them in here, but now the CD player's busted. So, all right, that's it for now. I'll say goodbye, but I'm going to go take it for a drive, and I'm going to take you guys with me. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed this video on not necessarily the right way to fix a short in your window winder circuit for a 944 vintage 1986. Cheers, everybody. Something bad happened. Don't take rolling your window down for granted. I always hesitated to drive this car because I knew it would blow a fuse if I tried to roll the windows up or down. So if it was hot or cold, I couldn't roll the windows up or down. I just had to deal with whatever I had. So if I rolled them down, it started raining, I just had to deal with it. If I left them up and it was hot, I had to just suffocate in here. So it's so nice being able to roll the windows down now. Anyways, thanks guys. Catch you on the next one.